Hey guys, it's Surgeon here, and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'm going to be trying to give you all a little bit more insight on how to determine how you should spend your money on doing your buyables, basically. There's a little bit more math, a little bit more theoretical thinking behind this video, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. I really enjoy putting it together. So if you guys do enjoy the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more videos from the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to let me know what you think about the video, comment section is for that. And without further ado, let's jump into this video. Again, I really hope you guys like it. I really enjoyed this one. So before I get into talking to you guys about how to actually train it, let's talk about a very important concept, and that's GP per XP. If you don't know what this is, well then let me just run it through you real quick. Basically, all you're finding out is the amount of GP it's going to cost you per experience that you're getting. And the way you find this out is you take the GP spent per action, so whatever that is, and you divide it by the amount of XP that you are given for that action. When you do this, it gives you a number, which is the amount of GP that you have to spend per experience that you gain using this method. So basically what you'll do is figure out exactly how much experience you want, whether it's like 1,000,000, 200K, whatever. You'll take that number of experience, multiply it by the number that you get when you take the amount of money that you're spending divided by the experience you get per action. You multiply however much experience you want by that number, and it gives you the total cost that's going to cost you to do that method for that amount of experience. And this is a very handy thing to know when you're trying to find out exactly like what method is cheaper based on exactly how much experience you're getting and how much money you're going to have to spend per experience that you're basically gaining. But let's talk about an actual example. For this video, we'll use construction, and more specifically mahogany tables. So mahogany tables take 6 mahogany planks to build. They cost 2,100 GP each at the moment, so you'll be spending a total of 12,600 GP for a total of 840 experience. The GP per experience, what you would do is you take 12,600 GP and divide it by 840 experience, and that's going to give you 15 GP per XP. That's a lot when you think about it, especially when you think about a 99 costs 13 million experience. 13 million times 15, that's a really big number. But for the purposes of this video, we'll use 1,000,000 experience as our kind of like benchmark. And so 1,000,000 experience using mahogany tables would cost you 15 million GP. All right, cool. So what? We know construction's a really expensive skill. Thanks a lot, Surgeon. We all knew that already. Yeah, well, there's multiple ways to train construction, right? There's multiple ways to train anything in this game. So now let's talk about how you really find out what's going to be better for you to train with based on money, time, whatever. And this brings us into a topic that I like to call time efficiency. Now, I'm going to start getting into a little bit of econ. I did major in economics, so it's kind of like my background when I think about this stuff. But basically what we're going to be talking about in this section is really kind of like opportunity costs and kind of breaking things down. And if you've never heard of the term opportunity cost, basically all it is it's just putting a value on the time that you're saving by doing a more expensive method. So in the purposes of RuneScape, we're going to be comparing a different method and seeing how much that time that we're saving using the more expensive method, how much is that actually worth? And is it basically overvalued or undervalued based on the other method, the slower method that we could be using, the slower and cheaper method? So for this video, the slower method we'll be using will be the oak dungeon doors. Now, I'll calculate GP per experience for this. So it's 10 oak planks, which cost about 450 GP each. It's 4,500 GP per door, so 4,500 GP divided by 600 XP is going to give us 7.5 GP per experience. So if we use the same amount of experience that we're using for the mahogany tables, which is 1,000,000 experience, 1,000,000 experience using oak dungeon doors is going to cost us 1,000,000 times 7.5, because that's our GP per XP, and it's going to give us 7.5 million GP. So doing oak dungeon doors, it's half the cost, so it's obviously better, right? Well, not necessarily. This is where that whole concept of time efficiency and opportunity cost really starts to become a big player in this. This is where XP rates really start to come in as well, and we have to start looking at them. So Oak Dungeon Door XP rates, on average, are around 350 to 400k experience per hour, whereas you have mahogany tables, which can go from about 850k up until 953k experience per hour. Now, the 953k is assuming you're doing perfect ticks and you're not missing anything, you're absolutely ridiculous, but a more realistic rate, kind of an average rate, would be about 920k. For the purposes of this video, we will be using both of the lower ends, so we'll be using 350k for Oak Dungeon Doors and 850k experience per hour for the mahogany tables. So let's calculate the time it's going to take for us to get 1 million experience using both of these methods. If you break it down into minutes, the Oak Dungeon doors are going to take you close to 3 hours. It's like 2.86 hours, so I'm just going to round it up to 3. And Mahogany tables are going to take a little over an hour to get 1 million experience. It's like 1.1 hours, so for the purpose of this video, I'm going to like round it down to 1 hour and round Oak Dungeon doors up to 3 hours. This is really just to make the math simpler. I really don't want to have to deal with decimals when I go into the second portion of it. So you know what? Oak Dungeon doors is going to take you 3 hours to get 1 million experience, and Mahogany tables are going to take you about an hour to get 1 million experience. I also want you guys to remember that to get this 1 million experience, Oak is going to cost us 7.5 million, and Mahogany is going to cost 15 million. This is where you start being able to do your opportunity costs. So just looking at the raw numbers, you're spending an extra 7.5 million GP to save 2 hours. But the question is now was it worth it? Again, if you remember, opportunity costs, the time, the value of the time that you're saving is how you need to figure out if it's worth it to you or not. So the way you can think about this from a very just rational, very concrete standpoint is if you spent the same amount of time, so the extra 2 hours that you saved by doing Mahogany tables, and you spent that time making money, would you be able to make 7.5 million and still have time left over? That's what you really need to be thinking about here. Basically, from a rational standpoint, you need a money-making method that made over 3,750,000 GP an hour to offset the extra money that you're spending by doing Mahogany tables. From a concrete standpoint, 3,750,000 GP an hour. That's a lot. So if you have a money-making method that can offset that GP, then it's worth it. From a strict money-making, from a strict GP standpoint, it's worth it. If you don't, then you're better off doing the Oak doors. For myself, personally, I don't really have a method that's making me 3.7 million GP an hour or 4 million GP an hour. I don't really got one. So personally, I'm going to stick with Oak Dungeon doors. However, there is one thing that I don't really know how to make a slide for this, so I'm just going to talk about it and just bear with me. This is from a very rational standpoint. Like I said, I've used that word a lot. But there's a value that we can't really put a tag on, and that's how much you value your own time. 2 hours is a lot of extra time. Like, you can think about the time that you'd be spending 2 hours going to go do, whatever that is. So if you really value, if the extra money that you're spending to save those 2 hours is worth it to you, rather than the time it's going to take for you to make that money back on the game, then go ahead and do Mahogany tables and save yourself the 2 hours or the hours that it's going to save you in the long run. I can't put a value on that because I don't know how much you value your own time. I value my own time a little bit. I don't really mind grinding on this game. I don't mind spending the extra time to save myself the money on this game. I'm a very frugal person. I don't like spending money in general, so I'm fine investing the extra time for it. But if you really value your time outside of this game and you want to spend as little time doing skills as possible, then fork over the extra money. If you make it big staking or whatever, you make it big on a clue reward or something, you want to blow that extra money on a really fast a really fast skilling method, then go for it. If you value your time that much, that's what you've got to do. You've got to figure out what you're valuing your own time as, and not just from a strict GP standpoint, because that is a very rational standpoint to think on, and it's a very emotionless standpoint to think on. Humans aren't emotionless. As much as we think we are, we have our own thoughts and how much we value certain things. You value your own time your own way. If you value your time, if the 2 hours you're saving by spending that extra money is worth it to you, then do it. The only thing that I can talk about in this video that is true is by doing a strict numbers GP efficiency thing. That's the only thing I can talk about. I can't talk about your own time though. And with that being said, that is going to do it for this video, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. This is actually probably one of the most fun I've had making a video. I really enjoy being able to get, not really analytical, but I enjoy being able to really kind of sit down and just discuss the numbers behind like why things happen, how you can calculate your own rates. And the reason is because I like being able to teach you guys how to be able to suffice for yourselves, how to be able to think for yourselves and determine what's the best for you. If you guys want to see more of these videos, please just let me know in the comments or like the video or something, because I do enjoy making these kind of videos. If you want to see more of the numbers behind things and me just kind of breaking concepts down, calculating your own rates, calculating whatever. If you want to see more of those, go ahead and give the video a like, or just let me know in the comment section. If you want to see more content from my channel and do a variety of stuff on the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Links to all my social media will be down in the description. So my CC, my Discord, my Twitch, and my Twitter will all be down there. And if you want to leave me any other feedback on the video, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys tonight. So hopefully you guys enjoy your night, day, morning, whatever time of day it is, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.